There's mutton chops, mutton kurma, kaima, tale mamsa, liver, chicken kurma, boti, rice and mudde.
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಯ್ನು ಮುದ್ದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ.
You can see the speed at which the muddes are flying out. No speed rocket ತರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮುದ್ದೆ.
ಊರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಟೇಸ್ಟು. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಇದು.
ಅದೇನು ಸರ್?
Kaima.
ಇದು ಬೋಟಿ
ಮಟನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಳೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಓ,
With the kidney and the meat and the fat attached.
ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ದು ಮಸಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಬಾಯಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೆ ಅದು ಮಸಾಲೆ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ.
You got the meat?
Hey Sushil.
Hey Kurma.
How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. That's the place. Without a board.
Without a board. So I'm with my friend Sushil Dwarkanath. We've met Sushil earlier when we
did the idli, tatte idli.
We did a tatte idli once in his neighborhood. Sushil has joined me once again on this excursion. Actually, he's the one responsible for this excursion. So we are here in Magadi Road in Vijayanagar.
Yeah. Magadi Road.
Magadi Road Housing Board. And we are here to taste some mutton.
Mutton, yeah. Mutton curry.
Chicken, kaima, liver, boti, kalemamsa.
ಏನು?
Mutton, chicken, kaima, boti.
ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ.
So this place is known just for the mutton curry and with ragi mudde or with rice.
Yeah?
Yeah, just known for that. And it's about 35 years old.
The place is just there down the road, just past the bananas there. That's the shop there. But even as we stand here on a slightly drizzly morning here in Namma Bengaluru, I can already smell some of
The coriander.
the coriander,
It's the dhania.
dhania, the seeds. So Sushil, of course, is a chef by profession, so therefore he's got his olfactory senses completely tuned to receive such sort of aromas. Have you been here before?
No, I've not been here.
Okay, so how did you get to know this place?
So my brother's been here and I think we're planning this place for the last 6 months. Come and eat it. Just never happened. I stay about 20 kilometers from this place. 22 kilometers. So you really need to plan to come out over here and eat. But I think fortunately today was destiny.
Today
to come
was
here and eat in this climate.
It's drizzling a bit. The air is quite pleasant, in fact slightly nippy. Adralli, to eat some bisi
Mudde and mutton saru.
mutton saru, I think that will be bliss.
There's mutton chops, mutton kurma, kaima, tale mamsa, liver, chicken kurma, boti, rice and mudde.
Fantastic.
9 items.
ನೋಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಭಟ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್. ಇದು ನಿಮ್ದು ಅಡಿಗೆದು ಪರಿಮಳ ಹೊರಗೆ ರೋಡ್ ವರೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಏನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್? ಅದು ಕೈಮಾ. ಇದೇನು ಶೇರ್ವಾವಾ?
They don't say mutton saru. So in a lot of very typical Karnataka such military hotels they call it a mutton sambar. ನೀವು ಕುರಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಮೇಕೆನಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಕುರಿನೇನಪ್ಪ.
The sheep has more fat.
More fat.
And
Yes.
I think so out here they like a bit of the churby, whereas the goat is a little leaner and also that aroma, I think.
Yeah, it's got a little more fibrous, the meat.
Yeah.
So when you look at the mutton chops, it's a bit longer. It's more pronounced, the meat.
That's right. What I find is that also with the goat, it's more in the Tamil Nadu, right? Like so there they will use what they call the potla.
Potla.
So basically it's a young male.
Yes.
That is always slaughtered. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕುರಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮೇಲ ಫೀಮೇಲ ಗಂಡ ಇದು
ಗಂಡ ಹೆಣ್ಣ ಕುರಿ
ಗಂಡು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಿಲೋ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಗಂಡು ಇದು?
ಒಂದು ಕುರಿ
15
ಕಿಲೋ. ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೊಬ್ಬು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ತಿನ್ನುವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದು ರಸ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ
ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ನಾಲ್ಗೆಗೆ, ಹಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅದು,
ಹಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಕುಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಸಾಲೆ ಮೀಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಕಚ್ಚುವಾಗ ಅದು ಪುನಃ ನಮಗೆ ಹೊರಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಸರ್ ಇದು? ಅಕ್ಕನ ಗಂಡ,
ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್.
ಓ ರಾಜಣ್ಣ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹೆಸರು. ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಇದು?
35 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಹೆಸರು?
ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ.
ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ.
ಸೊ ಅವತ್ತಿಂದ ನೀವು ಬರೀ ಇಷ್ಟೇ 9 ಐಟಮ್.
ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Fantastic. So I think these are
ದೋಸೆ, ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಊಟ. ಫಸ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಮರಾಠಿಯರು.
ಓ ಮರಾಠ
ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ರೆಸ್ಟೋರೆಂಟ್.
ಮಸಾಲೆ ಕಲ್ತರು, ಐಟಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರು, ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ ನಾವು ಶೆಡ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲು.
ಶೆಡ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅವಾಗ.
ಮೊದಲು ಹಂಗಿತ್ತು ಶೆಡ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲು.
ಶೆಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಶೆಡ್ ಹೋಟ್ಲು ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಚೌಲ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಶೆಡ್ ಇರೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಜಾಗ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ನಮಗೆ. ಅವರು
ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನರು
ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಜನ ಫುಡ್ಡು ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರದ ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಐಟಮ್ ತಂದು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಮಸಾಲೆ ಐಟಮ್ ಓನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಓನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ಈಗಲೂ ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ ಸಿಪ್ಪೆ ಪೂರ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು.
ಓಕೆ.
ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯ ಪೌಡ್ರನ್ನು ತರಲ್ಲ, ಓನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ರಾಗಿ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ತರಲ್ಲ, ಓನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ತರಲ್ಲ ಅಂಗಡಿ ಹಿಟ್ಟುಗಳು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು.
ಓ
ಮಟನ್ ಕುರ್ಮಾ.
ಮಟನ್ ಕುರ್ಮಾ.
ಇದು ಮಟನ್ ಕುರ್ಮಾ. ಕಲರ್ ನೋಡಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಲಿವರು ಎಲ್ಲ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಲಿವರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಯ್ನು ಮುದ್ದೆ, ಕೈಮಾ.
ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ ಅದು ಹಿಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ?
ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಭಾಗನೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚರ್ಬಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ ಅದು ಬೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ?
ಗಿರ್ಬಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಿದ್ದಿ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ, ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ. ಕಡಲೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು ಕೈಮಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಮಸಾಲೆನೆ, ಕಲರ್ ಒಂದೇ ನೋಡಿ. ಇದು ಬೋಟಿ. ನಾವು ಕಲೀಜನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಲಿವರು
ಅದೇ ಮಸಾಲೆ
ನೋಡಿ, ಕಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದೇ ಮಸಾಲೆ. ಮನೇಲಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಇದು ಚಿಕನ್ ಕುರ್ಮಾ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಒಂದೇ ಕಲರು. ಬಾಯ್ಲರು ಮೊದಲು ನಾಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೋ, ಈಗ ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮಸಾಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಮಸಾಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳಲ್ಲಿ.
ಐಟಮ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಮಸಾಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ.
ರೆಸಿಪೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾರ್ದು? ನಿಮ್ದು ಬ್ರದರ್ ಇನ್ ಲಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನೆ. ತಲೆ ಮಾಂಸ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಭಾರಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಟೊಮೊಟೊ ಹಣ್ಣು, ಮೆಣಸು, ಇದು ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ. ತಿಳಿ ಸಾಂಬಾರು.
ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಊಟ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಫಿನಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಟಚ್, ಡೈಜೆಷನ್ ಗೆ
ಮೇಯ್ನು ನಮ್ದು ಅದೇ ಮುದ್ದೆ ಮೇನ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ತಿರುಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ. ಯಾವ
ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಮುದ್ದೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ
ಏನು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನು ಹಾಕಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ ಮುಂದೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ತಿರುಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು 2 ಕೋಲಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರುಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅದು.
ಬಳಸಬೇಕು ಮುದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ,
ಅದು ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಅವನ್ ತಿರುಗ್ದಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಇವ್ರು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಅವನಿಬ್ರೆ. ಅವನದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ನೈಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವನೊಬ್ಬನೇ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅವನು.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಜನರು?
ಮಟನ್ನು, ಕುರ್ಮಾ, ಬೋಟಿ, ಕೈಮಾ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್.
20
kg ಕೈಮಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಇವಾಗ.
ಎಷ್ಟು?
20 kg. ಈಗ ಇದು ಅದು ಬರೀ 9 kg ಇದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೆ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಸ್ಯಾಟರ್ಡೆಗೆ ಜನರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ.
ಈಗ ನಾಳೆ ಬೇಡ 21 kg ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾಳೆ
21 ಕಿಲೋ ಸಂಡೇಗೆ.
ಅದು ಮುದ್ದೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸುಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಕೆಳಗೆ, ಅವಾಗಲೇ ಅದಾಗಿರೋದು.
ನೋಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ.
I can smell now the toasty aroma.
ಗಮನ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಅದು ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ.
It has to slightly char.
And that's the aroma that you smell of that mudde.
ನಮ್ದು ಕಾಪರಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾವು. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಲ್ ನೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಅದು ಇನ್ನೂ ನೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಹಂಗೆ ಏನು ಹಳ್ಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇ ಮುದ್ದೆ ಬರೋದು. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು. ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ.
You can see the speed at which the muddes are flying out. Huh? It's obvious. ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು? 17 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ. ಅನ್ನೋ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ರಾಕೆಟ್ ತರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮುದ್ದೆ. I mean, you can barely keep track of how the muddes are flying out. ಸುಮಾರು ಬಿಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ?
ಮುಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ. ಅದು ತಣ್ಣ ನೀರು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
So that mudde is hot. Therefore, they're using some water just to cool their hands barely.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಣ್ಣೆನೂ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ನೀವು, ಅದನ್ನು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ.
ನೋಡಿ ಏನು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೈಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಂದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಬೆಣ್ಣೆನೂ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆ ಕೋಲ್ಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಊರಿಂದನೇ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕೋಲ್ ಅದು?
ಹಾಂ, ಅಡಿಕೆದು.
ಅಡಿಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸುಪಾರಿದು ಮರ.
ಹಾಂ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೇ ಸರಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಇದು ಮರ ಮುರಿದೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಇದು ಮುರಿಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ನಾರು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ತಿರುವಾಕಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಊರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಟೇಸ್ಟು. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೇಮಸ್. ಇದು
ಅದೇನು ಸರ್?
ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಚಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಒಂದು ಕಿಡ್ನಿ.
ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಬ್ರೆಡ್
ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಮರಿಗೆ 2 ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಒಂದು ಕುರಿ ಕೊಯ್ಯುದಾ? 2 ಕುರಿ, 4 ಪೀಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತರ್ತೀನಿ. 5-6 ಭಾನುವಾರ ನಾಳೆ 8 ತರ್ತೀನಿ.
8 ತರ್ತೀನಿ.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ಲು ಬೋಟಿ. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮದು. ನಾವೇ 4 ಸಲ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲೀನರ್ ಅವನು, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲೀನರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನು, 3ನೇ ಕ್ಲೀನರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಆ ಥರ 3 ಜನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ.
So Sushil, I'm all set. Yeah, after watching all those dishes, I think Mr. Lakshman's passion towards the food that he's doing, be it in terms of the masala, the way the meat is processed, the fact that he's cleaning the boti thrice, and he's not doing it with one person. Because if one person is cleaning it 3 times, there'll be a certain boredom that will set in, so we may not do it well. So there's 3 people who are cleaning it, so each person approaches it like a new job.
Correct.
And I think that makes so much sense. I think there is so much of wisdom that you find in places like these that are traditional, that have been around for the last 36 years or so.
Yeah.
Even the way the mudde was made.
I mean, there's a reason for everything. From the stick that is used to the masalas that are home ground.
The stick is made of adike. That is the areca nut wood.
Yeah, and every year there's a new copper vessel which is used to make the mudde. So I mean, it's legendary.
So our LAs are here, that means the food can't be too far behind.
Kaima.
ಇದು ಬೋಟಿ.
Mutton. Nalli mule, okay. Oh.
With the kidney and the meat and the fat attached.
The good thing when you have somebody on the table is that you can divide forces and conquer, like they say. ಮುದ್ದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಿ, ನನಗೆ ರೈಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ. Can't wait to get started. What should we begin with? Maybe begin with the kaima.
Begin with the kaima, yeah. That's inviting.
That's inviting. Go for one. I will also take one.
So you typically wet your fingers with some of the gravy and then I can hear coriander on my palate. Coriander, red chilies.
I think I'm also going to take some of the kaima. Kaima is soft, steaming away.
As you said, there's a bite to the meat.
Yeah, so even when I press it, it is not pasty, unlike some kaimas.
Yes.
But this is quite put together. I think the flavor of his masala.
Yeah,
You can see some of the fat to the meat out here. The flavor of that masala. Loads of coriander, I think, that goes into this, no?
see,
Some green chili as well that I can taste in the
yes,
spicing.
yeah.
I want to rehydrate my Kaima.
It's spicy,
Yeah.
and I think this is the right temperature weather for this.
Busy there.
So this is like a nose to tail. Nothing of the animal is wasted.
It's wasted.
While the West is celebrating their Chateaubriand and the T-bone, I think this is something very typical for Bangalore, where you have the piece of meat, you have a little bit of the chops and the fat and the kidney that is attached to it.
Yeah.
Just that it doesn't have a name.
Yeah. And I think, see, typically if you look at a lot of the local food, it's all based on age-old wisdom. Right? So these may be coming up as nose to tail and all that you mentioned is now coming back as a trend, or people are talking about it and it's become fashionable to hashtag nose to tail.
Correct.
When you look at Harli Oota,
Yeah.
they would ensure that the animal that they slaughter, none of that went to waste.
Went to waste.
Everything, because that was precious. That animal has given up its life. So for our sustenance.
The mudde is superb.
Yeah. So again, mudde kuda sikboda. I mean, the rice is fine, but I think this is a sort of meal where you need to also savor some mudde along with the curry. That's how I think you should best savor this out here.
I'll give you one more.
I'll introduce it to my curry rather quickly. You have to be quick with this mudde and the saru. Yakandre saru bisi ide. It's piping hot.
Yeah, once it gets cold, you won't enjoy it much. So it's
delicious. There's a bit of a bite.
yeah, I love the bite of the kaima. It's superb.
And also there's a bit of the fat, the sinew that you're tasting in between that kaima. And I think the good thing about that, like I've always noticed that when you have these Harli style of places, they will keep it a little tougher. They will have some of the sinews. So to somebody who's expecting like a meat that's buttery soft, it's not that. But then as you chew on it, there is flavor right from the beginning to the end. Huh?
Yeah, and when you chew, it's not very rubbery also. It's also breaking down.
Yeah. And I think that is a function of the meat that they choose. I think places like these have perfected
What meat to go in which
procurement over a period of time. So they know exactly the sort of meat that they should use. ಇದರಿಂದ ಮಸಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಇದೆ ಕಾಳು ಮೆಣಸು ಪೆಪ್ಪರ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ದು ಮಸಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ ಇದೆ ಈಗ ಬಾಯಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾಲಿಗೆಗೆ ಅದು ಮಸಾಲೆ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ದಟ್ ಮಸಾಲ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಟು ಮೈ ಟಂಗ್ ಈಗ ಸಡನ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಪೆಪ್ಪರ್ ಇದು ಅಥವಾ ಹೀಟ್
1 hour ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
1 hour
ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು.
ಸಾಂಬಾರ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಚಿಲ್ಲೀಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ
ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಚಿಲ್ಲಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಕೆಂಪು ಮೆಣಸು ಬ್ಯಾಡಗಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಮನ್ಕಟ್ಟಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಪೌಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕೋದು ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತದೆ
I'm going to taste the mutton curry, the mutton kurma. The gravy is the same flavor. The interesting part is going to be the bite of the meat.
Yeah. It's going to be more about the textures that you will taste.
Yeah. When you're cooking the mutton, since it also goes in with the bones, there'll be a slight difference in the flavor than the keema ball.
Correct. Perhaps. But I think what they must be doing is they must be cooking the mutton and then adding because the keema ball doesn't take too long to cook. So the sambar that they make, then the keema ball gets cooked in that. There's some of the mutton now. I'm going to introduce it to my pail of hot mutton sambar. Just allow it to sit there for a bit, soak up a bit of the heat. Even as I tug at the meat, I can feel that this is a slightly tough piece of...
Slightly, yeah.
You need to work on it a bit.
The naati joints are really not savoured. They're very melt in the mouth meat. It's always got some work to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the animal is 15 kilos, the carcass, so
Yeah.
you know this bite has to be there.
So what happens typically, let's say in some of these biryani places, they will use a 8 to 10 kilo sort of a lamb, right? Whereas here, you're talking about a lamb that's 50% more. So therefore, its muscles have developed. So you can also feel a bit of that bite in that meat. You can feel the weight of that bite. But also, you know, what I found, Sushil, here is that in this mutton korma, it is not carrying so much the flavor of the curry. Whereas in that mutton kaima, I think that curry had seeped completely into every pore of that kaima unde.
It's a quite rounded off flavor with the kaima unde.
And I think there's probably also some spicing into that kaima unde that basically complements the flavor of that curry.
I think a glass of beer would be perfect with this meal. Just perfect.
Well, I think then if you want that, then you probably have to come here, get some and take it home. That's that kidney.
And you have the fat in case somebody likes to eat the charbi.
This is also the fat that is typically used in the making of the kakori kebabs and things like that. And this is so if you're somebody who knows your meat and let's say you want to make a kebab with minced meat, you typically ask the butcher for the kidney fat. And this is the fat that they cook into that korma along with that kidney. What I like here, the flavor of the kidney is clean. There's none of that uric acid, that slightly ammonia sort of a smell that you would otherwise get.
It's very umami.
Delicious. And towards the end, you have that slightly pasty, slightly deeper.
The spice is now hitting the back of the tongue.
That's because of the mudde and saru combination. Because I think that mudde holds on to the flavor of the saru. With the rice, the flavors are not as punchy because the saru tends to run through the rice. Whereas in the case of the mudde, and you should eat this mudde hot, every bit of that mudde holds on to that saru rather well. And also because you swallow that mudde in with the saru, the flavor of the saru too slithers down completely from your tongue all the way down your throat.
Yeah.
Between the rice and the mudde, I think you should try the mudde here. I think the rice here, in my case, was a bit of a mistake.
Sir, sarge kai ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ? Kai. Kai ಆಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ? ಒಣ ಕೊಬ್ಬರಿನಾ ಕಾಯಿನಾ? Kai.
Fresh coconut.
Fresh coconut. A little bit of fresh coconut.
If you look at the masala here, there is no discernible bite. The only thing that you bite into here is the meat.
Absolutely.
So everything is ground, whether it's the chilies, whether it's the coconut, whether it's the coriander seeds, everything is ground
It's finely ground.
and goes into the base of that masala. And what should we taste next?
You got the meat?
Wiped completely. I was able to extract all the marrow inside, all the goodness of the marrow inside. So it's important every once in a while, if you are the sort that lingers over your meal, to get some of the gravy, bisi gravy. But once it gets old, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಜಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. To me, the winner so far was the kaima.
Kaima.
I think there's one dish that you want to try here, it's definitely the kaima.
No wonder he sells 20 kilos.
Rice ಕೂಡ ಬಿಸಿ ಸಾರೋಟೆಗೆ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕು ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಮಜಾ. Of course, when you come here, don't expect to linger over your meal because you'll have people standing outside waiting for you to get out.
Yeah.
And I'm told that if you come with a family, they also have a family section.
Mudde is amazing. I mean, I think here it is mudde and kaima.
Yeah.
That's the number one combination.
Mudde, kaima, saru. Like Sushil said, maja illi, mudde nalli.
Mudde al maja ಇದೆ.
I think the only advantage that the rice has is that it allows you to integrate. When you're eating the mudde, because you're swallowing the mudde with the saru, you cannot really swallow the meat alongside. Whereas with the rice, if you have the sort who likes to have a bit of meat in every morsel, then the rice makes for a nice companion. What should we taste next now that we've not tasted?
The boti.
The boti. I think we need some bisi saru idra mele.
ಅಣ್ಣ ಒಂಚೂರು ಸಾರು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಬೋಟಿಗೆ?
The good thing here is they are quite forthcoming with the saru, the bisi saru.
Yes.
Cleaned very well.
It's cleaned very well. It's the textures what you have to enjoy in this.
Yeah.
Because each piece has a very different mouthfeel.
The boti is very spongy. It's almost like biting into hard jelly.
This is probably the second time I've had.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm not a big boti person, but I think the way they've cooked the boti here has removed, I think the way they have cleaned the boti here, cleaned it thrice, I'm told 3 different people clean the boti, that removes all the gamey aromas that you find, because some people may find that off-putting.
It's cleaned with turmeric.
Cleaned with turmeric and there's no grittiness to it.
There's no grittiness to it.
Kelosati, some places when you eat boti, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ grittiness ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ sandy texture ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಸಹ. You know, especially for those who probably not too accustomed to places like these, it may seem a little intimidating at first because the setup is quite basic. You're sitting on granite slabs, you're dining off granite slabs, and people around you may seem to be in a bit of a hurry, but that's just the way they are. They don't mean it brusqueness. It's just that everybody is so focused on the food that there is no time for niceties. So when you come in to focus on the food and be nice to the people around you, and especially be nice to Mr. Lakshman and the chaps who are serving you.
So it's just serious eating. Come, eat and walk off. Nothing else.
That's right. The meat certainly has a bit of a bite. So you got to chew on it a bit.
Yes, the meat has a solid bite. Got to work on that.
I think if I were to come here next, I would probably be doing the Kaima.
Yeah. So he's doing only the Kaima.
You've been coming here regularly? 15 years. 15 years. So obviously you know what is. So you're doing the Kaima and? Mutton chops and the Kaima. And okay, everything. Fantastic. I think that's the thing with places like these. The connection that they have with people goes beyond the food.
People today, they tend to get bored of making the same food.
Yeah.
They want to change in the flavor, change in everything, presentation. But here, you know, these places just do the same thing day in and day out.
And they still have people coming in.
Still have people coming, yeah.
Right, so for all those restaurateurs who say, no, but my customer's asking me something else, therefore I'm adding to the menu. Perhaps what you're serving them now in the first instance isn't the sort that's satisfying them at various levels.
Yes.
Rajanna's military hotel has only 9 dishes.
9 dishes, that's
and they've been serving only that for the last 36 years. Mr. Lakshman here is holding on to the legacy of his late brother-in-law, Mr. Rajanna. He says the 9 recipes that he started with, that's all that I will continue. That's the legacy that I want to take forward. And each of these dishes, I guess, he puts his heart into it.
Yeah, and as it passes through generation, you need to have the same enthusiasm, the same love, the same passion to carry it on. And I think that is also what they bring into the next generation. That's so that it stays even, you know, for the next maybe 50 years, 100 years.
Fantastic. I think these are the sort of establishments that we need to encourage.
Absolutely.
And ensure that they're around, because what they're also doing is they're carrying with them that culinary tradition.
Yeah, slow food.
Slow food, like Sushil spoke about, nose to tail. You know, all those traditions that have been handed down generations, that krama, that way of cooking, which is so precious.
So passionate to talk about it.
Yeah.
What is there? I mean, there's no secret to it. It's all there, but the secret lies in each hand. And
Kainalli. Kai guna.
Ruchi kaiyalli.
Ruchi kainalli irutte. Fantastic. So I think on that note, I think we're going to close this vlog right here. I hope you enjoyed this delicious mutton outing.
As much as we did.
As much as we did. You already know our winners from the dishes that
Mutton
we
oota.
tasted. From this mutton oota that we tasted. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong, and happy eating. Bye. Rajanna ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಮೊಮ್ಮಗ, grandson. What is your name?
Channik M. Rajanna.
Channik M. Rajanna. ಊಟ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ದಿನ
ರಾತ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಂತೀರಾ? ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಬಾಯ್.
ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಸಿಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಬಂದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಮಾತು ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ರಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ವಿ ಕೀಪ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಥರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕವರ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ ಫಾರ್, ಐ ನೀಡ್ 10 ಆಫ್ ಮೀ. ದೆನ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ 10 ಕೃಪಾಲಮನ್ನಾಸ್. ನೈಸ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ಯು. ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಫೇವ್ರೇಟ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಶ್ನಲ್ಲಿ?
ಕೈಮಾ ಬೋಟಿ.
ಸೇಮ್ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮದು. ಇಬ್ರದ್ದು.
ಈಗ ಅವರೇ ರೆಸಿಪಿ.
ಸೊ ಮಿಸಸ್ ರಾಜಣ್ಣ ಸೂಪರ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್. ಅದು ಕೈಮಾ ಭಾಳ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್, ರುಚಿ ಮಸಾಲೆದು ಇನ್ನೂಸಿದೆ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಮೇಲೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದು ಹೀಟ್ ಪೆಪ್ಪರ್ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖಾರ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating.